And that whilst your purpose
that
never
you've signed up to
changes, your
and we share
assignment
together
changes from
is
time
to
to time.
be your best in all you do.
And greatness can only be measured by the difference between before you showed up and after you showed up. If I look at the number of people whose lives have been transformed by your voice, that's how we measure your greatness.
Welcome again, guys, to Speak for Gold. I am excited to do this. It's always a pleasure for me to share my knowledge. I'm doing my father's business. This is what I was born to do: teach, mentor, lead. And whenever and wherever I do it, I'm always delighted to do this. So delighted. Today, I'm going to be speaking on becoming the platform, how to use online platforms to grow income, impact, and influence in the new digital economy. So last year, I don't know how many people may have heard about the Head Start Summit that I convened last year, but the caption, the headline for that summit was interesting. It was reinventing yourself for the new digital economy. So I'm just piggybacking off of that. 2020 showed us its hand, and it revealed what we have come to call these days the new normal. Well, the thing is that this new normal, some people have been living in that normal for a long time. COVID-19 just accelerated it and made it necessary for everyone else to embrace it, okay? And that is the new digital economy that we are faced with. And there's a movie I'm going to recommend that you see in your spare time when this is over, that will put you in the right frame of mind for the age that we are entering. And the movie is called Ready Player One, right? Ready Player One. I've been hyping the movie since last year. You know, when you watch that movie, it helps you understand the times we're living in, and it gives you the paradigm with which to position yourself for the opportunities. This is not part of the conversation, but I need you guys to key into this. So I can see someone commenting that they've seen the movie. So Ready Player One, it's an old, not so old, but it's pretty old, but it was a situation where the people of a certain place they were living in a dystopian world, and so they had to live through virtual reality. So they had to exist through a virtual world. And in that virtual world, you know, they'll put on this VR, virtual reality headset, and they would exist in a virtual world. In that virtual world, they could own currency, they could own property, they could buy clothes, they could meet people, they could do almost everything that they could do in the real world, right? Most of these people who were rich in the digital world, or you know, they could buy cars and bikes and a lot of things there, right? They didn't have anything to their name in the real world, but in the virtual world, it was a whole new ball game. And so that's what 2020 brought to us. Everyone had to find a way to exist online. People could not meet and have physical events. People could not meet and do physical weddings, even though that has eased off now to some degree. But people had to figure out ways to exist digitally. All right. So when you are able to transmute the things that we normally do on land into online, you'll be one step ahead. And I say this all the time, that if you are getting this knowledge, not just knowing it, but if you are also a doer of this knowledge, it will put you 10 steps ahead. In Nigeria, for instance, it is so easy to stand out. So easy. Like you can do with your eyes closed, because not many people are. All right. And I say this with a lot of respect to everybody else, but not a lot of people are going to be willing to put in the due diligence to master these tools of the new digital economy, because it's going to take some time to master. All right. What I'm going to be teaching you is on how you are going to be able to master it yourself, because I don't know how many of us here can afford to pay people to manage these things. Maybe some of you have the budget for that, but the angle I'm going to be coming from, I'm going to be giving you tools that you can use to master it for yourself. In case some of us here are at the beginner level, you can't afford to outsource these things yet. Okay, so I'll be showing you how you can do it yourself, master it in a way that doesn't take much of your time, all right? But it's going to take some time to master, okay? This is not a time for you to say, oh, I'm not a techie person, okay? That attitude should have died before 2020. All right. This is a very competitive era, and everybody should be a techie person. If you can read and write, the next best thing is what? Tech. All right. There's something that a woman named Marie Forleo once said, and I never forgot it when she said it. She said, when it comes to technology, it's not your aptitude that matters, it is your attitude. Okay. So it's not your aptitude that matters, it's your attitude. What that means is it's not about your whether you are quick on the uptake or whether you have a natural inclination to tech. It's about your attitude. You should have this can-do attitude, and I assure you that it is going to be worth your while, so much so that you will almost have zero competition. It's a blue ocean for those who can master these tools. Okay. I've said that. I'll say one more thing just to pre-frame your mind, because this is really, really valuable what you're about to learn. A lot of us here are faith-based, so I feel comfortable sharing this with you. We all know the story of Jonah, right? The story of Jonah, you know, what we know is that the Lord told Jonah to go to the city of Nineveh and preach to the people there and get them to change from their wicked ways so that he would not destroy them. And we all know Jonah said, "No, I'm not doing it." He went elsewhere. He chose to go to Tarshish, yada, yada, yada. There was a storm. It was swallowed by a big fish. It was there for 3 days and 3 nights, you know, lamenting and, you know, sitting there in the naughty corner while he had time to reconsider his decisions, right? And after a while, the fish spat him out. He was on dry land. And, you know, a lot of things happened, but finally, he decided to go to Nineveh. And then what happened? He got to Nineveh. He preached to them. They repented. Happily ever after, right? Well, I don't know about that, because Nineveh was a very commercial city. It was a fishing city, all right. And because it was by the sea, it was by the water. It was usually a berth. Ships came to berth there. People came and left. So what happened to those people who left town while Jonah spent all that time in willful ambivalence? What happened to those who died? What happened to those who left town before Jonah could make up his mind on whether or not he was going to go? And so my takeaway from that is that the message that you have in your heart, I'm glad this is Speak for Gold. I'm speaking to the right people. The message that you have in your heart, it's time bound. You don't have the luxury. And I know people say things like, "Oh, it's never too late." Well, I see where that has its merits, but it's time bound. There are some people who cannot move to their next level in their journey until they hear your message, until they hear what you have to say. Remember when Jesus was still a baby and his parents came to the temple. They were coming to the temple, and there was this prophet or priest, I don't know, I can't remember what it was. I think his name was Ananias. I think he was blind. And when he met Jesus's parents and the baby Jesus, he said, now I can die peacefully because I have seen the Messiah. All right. In that same way, there are people on the face of this earth that cannot be translated into their next level of glory until they hear your message. It is your responsibility to figure out how to get that message to them. Do you understand why tech is important now? The Apostle Paul, the Apostle Paul could have been freed so many times. He could have been freed so many times. First of all, Paul had more advantages than the average disciple because he was a Roman citizen. He had dual citizenship. That's one of the key secrets to his longevity, right? They would have whipped him like a common Nazarene. Those guys were third-class citizens at the time. But even they could not treat Paul anyhow because he was a Roman citizen. But even with his privileges, he chose to remain bound. There were times when he was shipwrecked. He could have escaped, but he chose to remain there because he knew he had to get his message to the headquarters of the world at the time, and that was Rome. All right, he kept on appealing to Caesar. Okay, so that was someone who was that purpose-driven. And so here we are. We are not dealing in a time where we are dealing with shipwrecks and, we have airplanes, we have the internet, we have Facebook, we've got online, we've got Facebook ads, we've got Instagram, we've got Zoom. I mean, come on, guys. Do you know how how excited I am to wake up every morning, knowing that I can be in my room and be talking to how many are we here right now? 90 people. What sorcery is that? It's amazing. The best time to be alive, okay? So it is your responsibility to figure out how to get that message into the hearts and minds of those people that your destiny is connected to. With that said, we'll jump right into the message of today. I'll repeat that. It is, whoopsie, becoming the platform, how to use online platforms to grow income, impact, and influence in the new digital economy. Why did I say becoming the platform? Because there is a hype around becoming an influencer. That is good. It's the lowest form of conversation. Becoming an influencer, online influencer, is the lowest form of the conversation. All right. And I'll help you understand why. These days, when people get, 5,000 followers, okay, you get 5,000 followers. Some people put out a poster and celebrate, yay, we got 5,000 followers, y'all. All right. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that too. If that's your thing, that's cool, whatever. 100,000 followers. Yeah, we got 100,000 followers, man. 100,000 followers, you're celebrating. Interesting. What do you think Instagram is celebrating? Instagram is happy that we're on social media playing all those meaningless status games because it helps them drive a different metric that they're concerned about. What are they concerned about? Daily active users. That's what they're measuring. The influencer is measuring number of followers. The platform, Facebook, which is also Instagram, is measuring daily active users. How many impressions did we drive? How much ad revenue did we drive today? That's what they're measuring. Above Instagram, somebody else is celebrating something else. Who? The landlord, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos owns the data centers where all these web services are hosted. I don't know if they're actually hosting Instagram, but just for an example, but I know that Uber is Jeff Bezos' customer for Amazon Web Services. Facebook is their customer, and many of these big tech companies. What is Jeff Bezos celebrating? He's celebrating maybe a 10-year agreement for this new company to come and host their data with them. And then who is celebrating above Jeff Bezos? Who can guess? The United States government. What are they celebrating? Tax dollars. So you see how the status games we are playing in the third world ends up as dollars to the US government. It all makes sense. And when you understand, like they say in the movies, follow the money. When you understand the paper trail, it helps you to position yourself better. Like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? And so it's not about being an influencer. It's about becoming the platform. If you were to be removed from Instagram for 48 hours, would they come and look for you? Would they come and look for you? All right. So that is why the emphasis on becoming the platform. You are the platform. Your message, everything that comprises you, that is the platform. And that is the paradigm that we're going to be using to attack this. So first of all, before I go to, I'll talk about platforms and virtual events. But first of all, there are skills of the new economy that are non-negotiable. There are skills of this new economy that are non-negotiable, that anyone who is digital economy literate has to learn. All right. Number one, web design. Hey, some people are like, hey, whoa, I have come to mix this thing here again. I know. You've been running. How do I dodge this thing? How do I dodge this thing? I'm sure you've been meeting this thing at this mountain at many points in your journey, and you've met it here again on this message. Okay, you have to learn how to design your website. See, one of the biggest compound quarrel, figuratively now, yeah, that I usually settle is, John, we gave our web designer our website to design. Now we cannot find him. He does not want to give us our login details. We don't know what, and your work is at a standstill. Yeah, that should not be, okay? There are tools that can help you take control over your online activities. If there is number one thing that should be firmly in your grip, whether or not you are a techie person, it is your website. Okay, now I understand that websites have historically been a techie subject. And so if I was to be preaching this message, say in 2010, I would understand, but no longer in 2021, because there are tools that make it very easy, okay? And this tool I'm about to mention, if you've heard me speak about this before, you know what it is. It is called Wix, W-I-X, Wix, okay? Now, if you're using a laptop, that means you can just open a Chrome tab. I want you to open this website. Go to johnobidi.com. I want to just demonstrate something to you, okay? Because I like to be practical. Go to johnobidi.com. For those of you who have really fast internet connections, it might load fast, you know, because it's a bit heavy. There's something on top there that's like a video that has to play, no sound, but it just play in rotation, right? That was one of my speaking gigs in Brazil. That plays at the top there, but when it loads, you know, let me just see in the comments, say, all right, so I'll explain something, okay? If it's a bit slow on your end, you know, might just need to wait a few seconds. That video only shows on laptop and not on phones, so that's why it was specific. Okay, Pamela West says yes. Grace additional says it's loading. Twinye Oboro says yes. Okay, fantastic, it's loading. All right, now you look at that, and it's a pretty website, right? Look through it, top to bottom. If I said I paid some money to a website designer, all right, to get that designed, just honestly, how much do you think I would get charged in Naira? By the way, I'm based in Dubai now, but you know, I only moved here in November, so but I'll still be talking in terms of Nigeria because you know I lived all my life in Nigeria. So but you can use Naira, okay? So if I were to tell you that I paid a website design, okay, someone said 1 million, okay. 500K, okay. Anybody else? Okay, someone said 120K, okay. All right, that's good. Someone said, Dr. Nona said maybe 2,000 pounds. Fantastic, that's true because people do charge that much for it, correct? Someone says 1,000 pounds, true. 300K, correct. Good. All right, now let me tell you that. What if I were to tell you? What if I were to tell you that all I paid for this website was just about, what's the equivalent? About 50,000 Naira per year. That's all. Per year for that website. And that I did that website in 20 minutes. Whenever I share this thing, people like a deliverance session. Because people who have been held in bondage of tech gurus, they're like, hey, if I had known, right? I did this in 20 minutes. Now, caveat, you know, I studied computer science, you know, but that did not come to play. Something you can learn about Wix, you should know about Wix, is that they have predefined templates. You don't even need to have design instincts, okay? Me, I don't have design instincts. I'm honest with myself about that. Therefore, I like to use tools that overcompensate for that deficiency for me, okay? So if I could use Wix, trust me, believe, I don't sabi design. I don't, all this psychology of colors is not my talent. Trust me, I'm being very honest with you. So if I could do it, believe me, you can do it. Why? They've got pre-designed templates, okay? Just look through the template gallery, look for the website that looks like the one you would best like to have, click it, make it, click it and make it yours. They allow you change the image, change the background video, change the text, change the logo, boom, it's yours. You don't have to be creative. You don't have, if you are creative, it helps, but you don't have to be. Change it, it all becomes yours. Another thing about Wix is, it has a free plan. So you don't need to pay any money now to join. You can get on the free plan and design your website for free, okay? I don't mean you should publish it out to the internet, or don't publish it yet, to just design it, get comfortable with it. You like it, when you show you like it, you can now pay for a paid plan and let the world come and see it. Okay, so these are trade secrets. I remember when I preached when I keep saying preach, I don't know why. When I taught this last year, there was this lady who was just there learning, taking notes. As soon as I was done with the session, she just went, she used like 3 days to go back and forth, master the platform with Wix and everything. Next thing, this lady changed her Instagram bio. Changed her Instagram bio to website design agency. I was like, sister, what's going on? Man, she started making money designing website. She had no idea before, nothing. She had no idea. She started making websites for people, making money from it. She didn't have to tell anybody it was Wix, as long as she gave them a fantastic result. And that was how somebody who was hit so hard by the pandemic last year started a new, this lady was in no way connected to tech. She was doing a regular brick and mortar business that, but when she heard it, said, she just went, checked it out. That became a new business. She did not even tell me until like 6 months after. She came to DM me, say, that thing you said on your Zoom meeting, hey, so what happened? I was like, where's your tithes? Just on the lighter note. So I'm just trying to let you know that this actually works, okay? So Wix, it is going to put the power in your hands. And so all those your passwords that you normally keep with your website designer, your tech person, all right, you got to hold them together. Then even if you need to hire people to work on your online projects, you can give them provisional access. Okay, provisional means temporary access for a time. Okay, or until the project is over, that you keep that. It's something that you must always guard. All right. So that's that. Web design, you must be able to handle your own web presence. So that's for Wix. There's another platform that's going to be very important, especially for those who do buying and selling. So not buying and selling, I mean, who do selling. You want to have an online store, an e-commerce platform. Now, I've been teaching this for a long time. Back in 2010, if I were to be teaching this, I mean, those of you who have followed me since then, I used to teach about WordPress and all, but time has passed. A lot of tools have come up that are much easier than WordPress. So I don't want you guys to even bother yourselves with WordPress. For the few of us here who are that tech savvy, you can use WordPress, but you don't need WordPress, okay? There is this tool called Shopify, and many of us know about Shopify, okay? With Shopify, you can have your online store in just 10 minutes. So all the tools I mentioned, I wish that they would pay me to be their brand ambassador. I've been just hyping them since, but anyway, they work. So with Shopify, it's a pre-existing e-commerce solution. You just change the name, change the design with their templates, and it becomes yours. But when you're signing up to Shopify, for those of you that are in Nigeria, make sure you're signing up to Shopify Nigeria, because Shopify Nigeria connects to our local payment gateways like Paystack and Flutterwave. But Shopify UK, US, and the other first world countries, they connect to their payment gateways like PayPal, Stripe, and the other ones. Okay, so make sure that you're subscribing to the PayPal based on the country whose payment processing you're going to be using. Okay, so that's that. So 2 tools I've given you guys now that will just make you an overnight guru are Wix and Shopify. Okay, let me okay, it's not a question time, but if I see a question that maybe it's in line with what I'm just saying, I'll just take it. So I just saw one now. I think it was by Adalium. You said Wix e-commerce versus Shopify. Okay, good question. So Wix has an e-commerce feature. I haven't really used it, but I think that Wix is just really good at websites. I don't know how cool they are when it comes to e-commerce. E-commerce is just an extra feature for Wix, but Shopify online stores is all they do. And because they specialize in online stores, they have a lot of plugins. Okay, you know what plugins are? Plugins are software that extend the functionality of existing software. So Shopify has extra plugins that turn your online store into a superpower. Wix just has online shopping, that's e-commerce, as a feature, so they don't have as many extensible features. Okay, so that's the comparison between them in a nutshell. I can see someone saying, Ojiaga says, it's easy to set up. Here's one of my son's Shopify. You see, that's fantastic. I'm glad that you concur. Okay, so those are two things. Okay, another thing, another skill of the new economy is presentation skills. Okay, presentation skills. Now, those of us who have been public speakers already in real life perhaps have a bit of an advantage, but you see, presenting on camera is a little bit different, not too different, but a little bit different. And before 2020, it was an optional skill, because the only times most of us had to present on camera were when maybe we were on television, maybe national television or regional television or cable television, or maybe on radio, or maybe once in a while you do a webinar, right? But nowadays it's an essential skill. Okay, this is how we exist now. All right, so if you can get your phone, most phones have fantastic cameras, just get your phone mounted, get decent lighting, and start to practice talking to this inanimate object. When I first started learning how to talk to camera, it was weird. It felt really weird, right? I could talk to a group of people, you know, I could read the room, you know, gesticulate normally and all of that, but doing that with a camera, it didn't quite feel the same. This inanimate object, it took a little bit of practice, okay? Things like looking, okay, most people who do this, they look down at the screen, and so it's obvious that I'm looking at the screen, but you should be looking up at that tiny hole that is your camera. It doesn't feel natural, but over time, with practice, it becomes more natural. And when people see you do it, they're like, oh, wow, she is fantastic at this. He is amazing at this, okay? Presentation skills. They also go beyond just speaking. They go also into you going the extra mile, like making sure that you have a decent environment, all right? There's lighting, you look good, you know, and your sound is crisp and clear, okay? Let there be a little bit of intentionality invested in. Okay, so I'll move on from that. Another skill of the new economy is advertising. Somebody was like, hey, John Obidio, all these things I've been running away from. All these things I've been running away from, they've come to catch me here. What is necessary, okay? And this is how you know that you are literate in the 2020s. This is a new decade, okay? And hold on, let me just explain why understanding ads is very important, okay? Let me help you understand that. Facebook, right, has about 2 billion users, over 2 billion users. Instagram has, you know, a similar number. But the power of Facebook is not in the 2 billion users themselves. The power of Facebook is in the data that they have collected on those 2 billion users. Yo, Facebook is a beast, all right? Just as a side conversation, if you want to know how much of a monster Facebook is, go watch the Netflix documentary called The Social Dilemma. Go find that documentary. I'm shocked that somebody allowed that documentary to be on Netflix. I'm shocked because it's a tell-all expose on how much of a monster these social platforms have become. But we don't care about that. We are trying to make that monster work for us. Yes, we are using that monster to make money for us. Okay, so how much of a monster is Facebook? They've been able to get our data, but the power still is not just in the data. The power is in what the algorithms are able to do with that data. Now check this out. Facebook knows who your friends are. They know who your best friends are. They know your family members. They know who you are dating, who you were dating, who your kids are, who your kids' friends are, what your favorite toothpaste is, your favorite TV show. They know your tastes in music. They know the political party that you support. They know what your religious affiliations are. They know all this about you. The algorithms are so smart that with artificial intelligence, they are able to use past behavior to predict future performance. There's this rumor, you can Google it. It hasn't been substantiated. Of course, it wouldn't be, but you could check it out. Facebook reportedly, allegedly, has this algorithm that can predict whether two people in a relationship are going to break up and probably when. Their algorithms are that powerful. Okay, but let's leave the sinister side aside. What does that mean for you as a person of purpose, as a person with a message, as a person with a business, as a person with a product? What does that mean for you? Facebook is willing to offer this data to you on a silver platter, such that if I want to reach youth in, say, Enugu State within the ages of 25 to 30, who are female, can be that specific, and also have an interest in fashion, Facebook lets you do that with that kind of specificity and targets messages to those people. And those messages, of course, are called ads. Ads that drive a call to action. Listen, a lot of Nigerians are too afraid to do ads or just lazy to figure out the technology. And it's not that difficult. You know, I've been giving you tools that make the difficult look so simple, all right? And I'll get to this, okay? And so if you're one of those who is able to commit to this and learn it, guys, you will not have any competition. Whilst Simisola was reading out my bio, right? While Simisola was reading out my bio, she was mentioning certain things. These things I was able to achieve comparatively early were because I was willing to get into Facebook ads early. I have a Facebook platform, a Facebook group of over 170,000 people. Early on, when I started that Facebook group in January 2016, I used Facebook ads. I knew who I wanted to be in there. And with specificity, I spent some money on ads and I brought those people to it. Do you know what it means to be able to command attention on demand? Yo, it is godlike. And you're telling me that this technology is freely available to the masses and the masses are not massively adopting it? Come on now. Okay. But anyway, we are not the masses, we are the elite, right? And so we have to take advantage of this technology as the elite that we are, amen? So Facebook ads is an essential skill. All right, now there are other advertising platforms like Google ads, YouTube ads. I don't want to get into those ones yet, but let's start with at least learning Facebook ads. Fantastic. Now, your question, your billion-dollar question might be, okay, John, I love what you're saying. It's fantastic. So I've never run a Facebook ad before. What can I do now? I have an event coming up, you know, in a month. How do I use Facebook ads to drive traffic, traction to that event? Okay. And here's how. Facebook has a free program called Facebook Blueprint. Okay. They created that program to teach everyone how to run Facebook ads. And I don't know why that program is not popular, because every time I speak about this, many people are hearing about it for the first time, but it's there. Just Google Facebook Blueprint. It's going to be one of the first things that you see in the search results, right? And it is totally free to access. I guess they figure out that if more people knew how to use Facebook ads, they would make more money as a platform. And it makes sense, right? So it is totally free to access. Now, there are other paid trainings for Facebook ads, all right? If you want to get more detailed and specific, you can go ahead and pay. But if you're a beginner, by all means, take advantage of it. It's free. Facebook Blueprint. They'll take you from step by step and teach you how to achieve your advertising goals using the Facebook ads platform, okay? I think you might need to pay a token fee if you want the certification. but the knowledge itself is totally free. Okay, if that's what you're in it for. But you know, their certification is also pretty flamboyant. Someone got certified after hearing me preach about it here, and some people they just be waiting, they're just dropping nuggets, they're just creating a new career on paper, just creating a new career on paper. Multiple streams of income. So some people heard me talk about it, they saw it, they paid the small fee that Facebook was collecting for the certification, and almost they posted it on Instagram. I'm now a Facebook, a Facebook certified ads consultant. Brother, we just learned it 3 months ago. But that's good. It just shows the beauty of the times that we're living in, right? So Facebook ads is essential. You've got to see these things I've mentioned here. If you can just see, trust me, it's not going to take you more than 30 days to master these things. Okay, the biggest hindrance we face is not lack of information, but a lack of focus. The internet is like a fire hydrant. You know what a fire hydrant is? You know, that thing that is stationed in a lot of developed countries that, you know, it helps to fight fires, but it gushes water with a lot of force. All right, so like drinking water from a fire hydrant, it's great that there's water, but it's so forceful, there's too much. All right, and so you need to just know where to focus. There's so much vying for your attention. There is, you know, the comedians on Instagram, you know, kudos to them, they're doing their own father's business. There's the entertainers, there's the gossip, everybody, there is a battle for attention. But you have to be disciplined in order to get the information that will set you free. Okay, there's a reason why we say we pay attention. It's intentional. All right, so when you're paying attention to gossip blogs, you are giving something of yourself. You are paying. You are paying for it. Okay, so why don't you go pay Facebook with your attention instead? Okay, pay attention, learn these skills of the new economy. All right, I taught you 3 things now. We got your website, you got your online shopping, your online your e-commerce store, we've got presentation skills, we've got ads. Another one is email marketing. Email marketing. Email marketing. That's how we pronounce it in Portuguese. Email marketing. Now, why is this very important? Again, anytime I mention these things, I know that there's somebody here who, when I mention email marketing, you're like, hey, oh, another one again. Oh, these things that I have been running away from. You can't run it from me. Sure, you want to dominate. Sure, on 31st night, you went to church. And when they said, this will be your year, you're like, hey, this will be your year, is usually a conditional statement. It's not, it's not certain for everybody. It will be your year if it's conditional. If you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land. Or the very conditional. So there are conditions. All right. So you've got to learn email marketing. Again, if you have a team, right, that's fine. I guess you could outsource this, but for the majority of people who don't have a team, just take some time and learn it. Take some time and learn it. I won't go deeply into that, but one of the gifts I wanted to give people so that I don't spend too much time talking about email, one of the gifts that it just came to me while I was listening to the other lady's story at the last session, and I just thought, you know, I want to just sow something to the house here. There is a training that I did on email marketing. I'm still putting the final bits of that recording out. It's a mini course I'm going to launch pretty soon, but I'm going to give it to everybody who is here right now on this session free of charge. All right, so that you can learn the basics of email marketing if you've never done it before. So you can learn the basics of email marketing totally free of charge. Okay, I don't know how that's going to happen because I didn't pre-plan this. I guess I would relate this with Simisola and know how it's going to be delivered to everyone in the house. Okay, so email marketing is an essential skill. Now, hold on. There is this fantastic gift that I'm going to give you guys. For those of you, okay, is there anybody in the house here who does email marketing and has an email list that is more than 10,000 subscribers? Is there anybody here who has that? All right. Is there anybody? See, the things that I give you here, guys, it will make you uncompetable. I made up that word. It doesn't exist. Well, I guess now it does. Yeah, because whatever is bound on earth is bound in heaven. Yeah. Anyway, it's going to make you uncompetable. Is there anybody who has an email list that has over 10,000 subscribers? How much do you pay per month for that email list? How much? All right. How much do you pay per month? Let me see. Anybody who can just comment. How much do you pay per month for your email list of over 10,000 people? Yeah. How much do you pay? Because this is one of the things that frightens people who are new to online business or putting their online presence out there. Because you've not yet started making money and the recurring bills are already coming. Can I get a witness? That happens. Okay. MailChimp is billing you every month. Whatever platforms you're using, whether it's Teachable, is billing you every month. Okay. You've not started making money, but you're already spending money, and it just kills some business ideas before they even start. Okay. So people are saying absolutely right. Yes, right. I totally understand, right? So I'm saying GetResponse, all these tools, fantastic. The popular tools, MailChimp, GetResponse, all these popular tools, they will skin you alive. They look so cheap when you're just starting, but when your email list begins to grow to like 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 or more times 100, the bills begin to pack up. They begin to stack up. Now, add that to the fact that most of us here are based in Nigeria in a Naira economy. It don't make sense. So we are paying what I call a third world tax. It don't make sense because you are expected to compete with the first world residents who is earning in dollars and paying off their bills in dollars. But you're in the third world, you're earning in Naira, and you are every time the Naira dips, you have to pay more for what the first world residents pays constant. And you're not making more. It's just crazy. It's insane. Last time I used MailChimp, the size of my email list demanded I pay, I think, about $600 per month. Yeah. Coach Bim said paying multiplied by 480, and I've been in the game since it was around, 200 and something. So imagine, just because I'm in a Naira economy, my bills are more than double. Tough for most people. And so by the time you've been billed first month, second month, third month, you're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not making money. Where's it coming from? Okay. By the time I left MailChimp, they were charging me $600 per month. Okay. I can afford to pay now, but no, I will not pay it. There's got to be a better way. Okay. So the gifts I'm giving you are 3 platforms that are, listen to me, 1,000 times cheaper than the GetResponses, the Awebbers, and the MailChimp. I have a large email list, a super large email list, just for comparison, okay? And on no account have I ever paid more than $7 per month. All right? These technologies are used by only the elite few marketers in Nigeria. Nobody teaches it. Nobody teaches it because I guess nobody wants to reveal what their edge is. It enables them to guarantee deliverability. So emails are always, most of the time, hitting the inbox. Yes, there are secrets to that. Okay, it's included in the training I'm going to give you guys. Okay, and how to set it up very quickly and easily. Okay, it's going to be included in there. It's a bit techy, but I recorded an over-the-shoulder walkthrough of me doing it on video. And you just watch the video, set up for yourself, and you're good to go. So it's a pay-as-you-go system. One of the platforms I teach in that program is Amazon. It's a little backstory about Amazon. I like to expatiate on these things, and that's why my talks are usually long, because I have to break down, so that even those who are not really techy can key into what we're saying. So, so Amazon, why do you think Jeff Bezos became the richest man in the world? Why do you think so? You think it's because of Amazon, the shopping website? No, online shopping is what made the Alibaba guy, what's his name, Jack Ma. It's what made Jack Ma the richest man in China at that time. I don't know if he still is, but that's not what made Jeff Bezos the richest man in the world. All right. What made him the richest man in the world is something called AWS. Oh, thank you. Some people know what this is. Fantastic. Vincent says AWS. Vincent Okoli, actually, you've not been in my class before. Sonia says AWS. You people are doing expo. You people have heard me talk about this thing before. Talk true. Come, let us reason together. Let us reason together. Okay. So cool. So it's AWS. AWS means Amazon Web Services. Okay. It's their cloud computing infrastructure. They sell these services to Facebook, Uber. I had a list of them, but Facebook, I think they pay them, I think about $7 million per month to be on their platforms. Not small money. So we are not even their target markets. It's the Fortune 500 companies, the IBMs and co that are their target market, but they allow small businesses to also sign up. So their email marketing service, in case you want to go and do your research on your own, is called Amazon SES. Amazon SES. SES means simple email service. Okay, very few people know that this thing even exists, and those who know are the ones that are paying pennies for email marketing, and everybody else is overpaying. Okay, so Amazon SES. So this, my training teaches you how to set this up for your business. And if you look at Amazon SES online, you will see that their selling point is that they are 1,000 times cheaper than any other platform, and they are 1,000 times more effective. It's just weird. It's weird, but that's just the way it works out. Okay, so that's going to be in that training that I'm going to be sending to you. Okay, but just understand that email marketing is essential, right? Okay, so now we understand the skills of the new economy. All right, let me talk about how anyone can become known in their industry literally overnight, because this is Speak for Gold, right? You are not just learning how to speak so that you can be a talker. Yeah, you are learning how to speak so that your message can impact people, so that you can teach people, you can inspire people, you can motivate people, you can lead people. Okay, and if you're doing this on the internet, you've got to learn how to expand your message. One of the things that really helped my attitude towards my online platforms was understanding that as a Christian, the gospel of Jesus Christ is territorial. What does that mean? It irks me. I hate it when I hear people say things like, oh, I'm just doing my thing in my own little corner. What? It ticks me off. I might not say anything, but it just, it gives me the jitters, because Jesus Christ never made mention of you doing anything in your own little corner. So don't make yourself feel so fantastic because you tried at all. No. All right. Jesus Christ said, you are what? The light of the world. Not the light of your kitchen cabinet, the light of the world. The world is pretty big. Jesus Christ said, you are the what? The salt of the earth. Not the salt of your pot of soup. All right. So we say these things, but do you really believe it? Your belief will show in your actions. You really believe in the light of the world. It will show in the way you market your programs. It will show in the way you market your events. It will show in how entitled you feel to be heard by the world. All tribes, all tongues, all races have got to hear you. All right. And so that really aids me. And when Jesus Christ was giving the Great Commission, he said, go into where? Lagos? Nah, so you talk. No. Go into Abeokuta? No. Go into all the world. I take these things literally. Go into all the world. And so if Jesus Christ is giving them that message on how to spread the gospel, his message, that's a clue on how to spread my own message, man. I want to go into all the world. And he said, it makes no sense. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm sure one of these message translations says it this way, right? It makes no sense to take a candle and hide it under a bushel. It makes no sense. So what are you doing in your tiny little corner? Say it makes no sense. You take it out and you elevate it. You put it where in the highest point so that it can give light to the whole room. Okay. And so this should drive your efforts. It should give you an urgency. Man, I'm going to learn this thing because it's going to let my light so shine. Okay. Let your light so shine. Before who? Before God? No. It doesn't ask you to shine your light before God. Let your light so shine before men and women. Wink, wink. It's National Women's Day. Let your light so shine before men and women. Yeah. That they may see your good ideas. No. That they may see your good words, your good thoughts. No. They may see your good intentions. No. That they may see your good works. They've got to see your work before they can now glorify your Father and everything. You have to see your good work, so your light has to shine. So when they say, oh, I don't want it to be as if I'm showing myself. Jesus Christ said we should show ourselves. Yeah, we have to show ourselves. He said, let your light so shine before men. You have to, so that's to shine. You have to see the lights. I'm showing myself. It's Great Commission. I'm sorry. That is just the way it's got to be. Okay. So that they might see your good work. So this is why. So I can just come in and teach you the technology aspect, but there is a method. I'm not the only one who understands tech. I'm not the only one. But I learned tech because I'm like, yo, this thing is my ticket to income, impact, and influence. If I can learn these, if I can learn this thing, oh my goodness, there is no limit to where I can take this thing. All right. So I want you guys to learn this too. Okay. Let this mind be in you. I don't know why I keep on doing these things. My father was a pastor, by the way, so I grew up just using all these metaphors. Anyway, so virtual events. This is how anybody can become known in their industry almost overnight. Now, when I mention virtual events too, I understand it can sound pretty intimidating if you've not done it before. But let's look at it this way. What we're doing right now is an example of a virtual event. So you don't have to go like full on techie. Execute. This is a Zoom meeting. It's a virtual event. So think about something you want to put out. Let's simplify this. Think about something you want to teach people. You can make it free or you can make it paid. For some of you, you've had this in your heart for a long time and you probably don't really care about the money right now. You just want to, this mountain has to be moved. You want to just host your event and let people know that you have this light, that you have this message burning in your spirit, right? You don't want to start going through the motions of putting a price, setting up online payments. You want to just bring people, even if it is for free, and then share your message using virtual events, okay? Now, you want to put out a topic. I like to use a simple formula that I use in my email copywriting. It's called the ROT formula, okay? The ROT formula. And it's something simple that anybody can use, okay? The ROT formula means result, objection, and time frame. ROT, result, objection, time frame. Sometimes for grammatical correctness, each letter will just move around a little bit, and I'll explain. What is the result you're trying to get people to have? All right, what's the result? So for example, maybe you are a parent who is super skilled at helping your children learn faster. There are people who have that superhuman ability. And maybe you want to spread that message for parents. You can say, okay, what's the result? How to help your children learn faster, or you can make something more catchy, or how to make your children love reading. Oh, my child likes to play video games all day. They like to play every time. They don't like to read. And I'm trying to get them to read. And they do, what you mean I can get my child to enjoy reading? So that's the result. O is the objection. What could stop someone from attaining that result? What could somebody potentially have as an excuse for not attaining that result? So you have to pre-think about that. Objection, but if to get my child to love reading, it means I will have to now be spending so much time teaching them, and I have a job, I work and I don't have all that time. That's an objection. And it now becomes how to get your children to enjoy reading, even though you are a busy parent. Ooh, what is that? Or how to get your children to enjoy reading without leaving your 9 to 5. Wow. How to get your children, or the A to Z, or how to get your children to enjoy reading even though you are a busy parent. How to get your children to enjoy reading without giving up your recreation time. How to get your children to enjoy reading. Maybe somebody has an objection of, is it going to be, the last time I got somebody to teach my children or homeschool my children, it cost me a fortune. I got you. That's an objection. How to get your children to enjoy reading without spending a fortune. What? You see how that just sizzles in the brain, right? And then, so I've just shown you the R, the result, the O, the objection, and then the T is not necessary, but I guess some of them could, some niches, some businesses could use it. So for example, if there is a deadline or there's a time frame within which they can get that result, it could be helpful to add it there, okay? So how to get your child to enjoy reading without spending a fortune in 28 days, depending on however long the program is. Or these days, there's another time frame technique that people now use. If you read stuff online and pay attention, you would have noticed it. They may not say how, they may not say if they want to escape being locked into a time frame, like, oh, my program is 28 days. Because they tell you that maybe the program is for 90 days, for example, people might be like, 90 days is too long. I can't invest that much time in a program. All right. So if the program creator knows that it's going to be 90 days, and in marketing, if you say 90 days, it might turn them off. They take out that aspect of the time concern and they inject a different one. What is that one? How to get your child to enjoy reading, to love reading, right? Instead, without spending a fortune. So instead of saying in 90 days, we say in just 30 minutes per day. 30 minutes per day. I can do that. I can manage that. Everybody thinks they can afford to invest 30 minutes per day. And boom. Okay, that is how you can just craft. See, this is easy. I can bet that every single person here has something they can teach excellently without consulting your notes. Everybody has that. Everybody has that. Trust me, even if you don't believe in yourself, I believe in you. I know you do. All right. There's that thing that, you might be forming stage fright, but when you are in your comfort zone with your friends and family, you can you will talk about it back to back to back to back. Make a note of what that is. All right. Everybody has that thing that comes to them so easily, but it's hard for others to figure out. And please do not confuse what is easy for you to do with what is easy for other people to do. It will shock you. That the thing you take for granted is so easy. Some people are like, how do you manage to, it's right? So there's something everyone knows. So when you can frame it like this in such a result-driven manner, my goodness, you're going to get eyeballs on that topic, okay? And people with genuine concerns to learn that thing and take you up on your offer, all right? I call it an offer, but it works whether the offer is free or it's paid, okay? Now you've got your topic. You've got the value you want to add. Of course, behind the scenes, you modularize it, you note down what it is you're going to teach and talk about, and then create your flyer. Create your flyer. That's all you got to do. Create your flyer, okay? If you're not a graphic designer, there are tools that can help you create flyers on the fly. Hey, did I just rhyme? I didn't even plan that, yo. Hey, I'm rhyming. All right. There are tools that can help you create flyers on the fly easily. And I like to give you tools that help you non-techies. All right. So you don't need to know colors. They have templates. Just change the words and they become yours. Okay. And of course, the images. Normally, I used to only talk about this tool called Banner Snack. Okay. Banner Snack. Before I got people, in fact, before I started paying people to design my graphics and all that, I used to do all my graphics myself. When people tell me that, when people ask me, John, how do you do all this? I say, oh, it's my team, my team. So efficient. My team. My team was my iPhone, my dear. This was my team. My trusty iPhone, was my team, my whole team. This iPhone is a media agency. It's a media agency on its own. And by the way, one of the freebies I'm going to give you is a webinar I did called Overnight Guru. Overnight Guru. 15 apps that will turn you into an overnight magician. Okay, it's included in one of the free packages I'm going to be giving you guys tonight. Okay, it sells on my website for, I don't know, I can't remember how much it sells for anymore. I think it's about small 15K or so, but everyone here is going to receive that for free so that you can just go through these things in time. Trust me, the things I mentioned in that training, nobody teaches it on Instagram. See, I don't know if it's a good thing, but there's a little bit of ego when it comes to my work. If somebody else has taught it, I leave it for them. I don't teach it. So when I say the things I teach you, you have never heard it before. Trust me. Okay, so there are 15 apps loaded in there that you'll be like, oh, most of them are even free. Most of these apps are free. It will shock you. All right. You know these things where you know these mock-up images, you know, where you see maybe you launched a book. Okay, maybe not you, maybe you saw somebody on Instagram, right? They launched a book. This person is with you in Nigeria. They launched a book, but they posted on Instagram some corporate looking Caucasian holding the book and looking so interested in it. And you're like, oh my goodness, how did they hired models to model with the product on their t-shirts? I lie you, an app. There's an app for that. There's an app for that, okay? And the app is even free. The apps that do this, they are even free, okay? They are the ones that are for images, okay? Now you might think that the images are easy to do. Photoshop, the tools are easy for anybody to use. There's another one for video, okay? There'll be a video of somebody holding your products, right? There's an app that makes that happen. So even if you do mugs, t-shirts, you can do sure that somebody in another some model is wearing your shirt and looking happy and jovial. You can take that video and use it in your advertising, and all those apps are there. It's a treasure chest. Okay, so you're going to get that. It's mad. It's mad. It's crazy. All right. I don't know what brought me there. But I was talking about graphics. Thank you. I was talking about graphics. So use one of these tools. Design your flyer. Banner Snack is a great tool. But recently, man, Canva has gone nuclear. How many of you have gotten on the paid plan of Canva? My goodness, it is amazing. So amazing. So I never really used to publicize Canva, even though I use Canva, but I never really used to publicize it because it seems so basic. The graphics did not look so appealing. Somebody could look at it and know that it was Canva that you used. And I want those tools that would help you to stand out. And Banner Snack is one, really professional graphic templates. But Canva has really upped their game. Okay, so the free version of Canva has some great templates, but the paid version is super dope, man. It's fantastic. Okay, so use those, create your flyer. What next? Post it out on social media. Post it out. Okay. At this point, you know, for those people who are on the Facebook side of things, there's a difference between Facebook page and Facebook profile. Okay, let's mark the difference because a lot of people say my page, my page. No, it's not page. What most people call page is actually called your profile. Okay, and the major difference is that your personal profile is the one that people send friend requests to. But your page is the one that people click like. So yeah, the answer. That's the simplest difference. So on your page, they like. on your profile, they send a friend request. These are the key differences. So I just had to say that because I'm going to have to explain certain things that will rely on your understanding of this key difference. Okay. And just on the side, it's against Facebook's terms and conditions for you to publicize your business on your Facebook profile. Now, I know nobody ever reads those terms and conditions, but it's there. I don't know if Facebook enforces that, but it's written there somewhere, okay? But that aside, even if you choose to publicize your event on your Facebook profile, you see why I have to make that difference so that we all know what we're talking about. If you choose to publicize your event on your Facebook profile, some people make this mistake of not changing their privacy settings to public. I see this all the time. And I wonder if you're doing it deliberately or maybe you just don't know, because I know that the fear of being seen is a real thing for some. Okay, that's a totally different conversation. But if you're ready for this, you want to use your profile, you've got to go change your privacy settings to public. Okay, if there's anything on your profile that you don't want the public to see, just spend like a week doing an audit. You don't have to delete stuff, but you can set the privacy options of specific posts to friend only, or just do a total wipe and make them on private so it's just you, so that you can now use your Facebook profile for this purpose. The major reason is that when your privacy settings are set to friends only, when someone shares, you are hurting the virality of that post, because when somebody shares, when they share to their timeline, only mutual friends between you and that person get to see that post. All right, so it hurts your virality. But when it's on public, when they share it, they've truly shared it. All right, so that's that. So take it, post it on your Facebook, post it on your Instagram, and then use the power of Facebook ads. Okay, use the power of Facebook ads. Spend that money. Spend it. Spend it. Not everything is free. Spend that money on Facebook ads. Trust me. All right. I love the fact that I can even buy attention. Buy attention. All right. There's some things that, because they are allowed for you to buy it. Okay. And the Bible says, buy the truth and sell it not. I'm telling you, buy attention. Get as much of it as you can. And Facebook allows you to do that through their ads system. So pay for a Facebook ad and target it to those who need that solution or who are in the industry that requires that solution. It's, it has all of that. If you go through the Facebook Blueprint program, it's going to show you how to do these things. So you do that, all right? When they sign up for your event, they are going to sign up to your email list. And in your email list, you have what we call an autoresponder that automatically sends them an email saying, thank you guys for registering. This event is going to hold at this date, at this time. Here's the Zoom link. Easy. And then you shine your light. In the process, you're going to build an email list. And again, I've told you that there's a way you can get email marketing done for less than, for 1,000 times cheaper. All right. So if you use this, you don't have to spend so much money right out the gate. You will achieve the same results that the biggest people are achieving, but while spending pennies. All right. I learned that technique from this movie, American Gangster, 2005 movie. Denzel Washington played the lead role. He was playing the role of Frank Lucas, the biggest drug dealer in Harlem at the time. And one of the thing that made him spectacular and so prosperous at that trade was his product that was called Blue Magic. It was a brand of heroin that was, it was better than the competition and cheaper than the competition. So he kicked all his competition out of business, and that's how he was able to dominate. He went to the source of where it was being produced, somewhere in Vietnam. And so what we're doing is going to the source. We're going to have tools that are cheaper than what everyone else is paying, but are just as effective and even more than what everyone else is getting. Okay. And I know we like to say that, oh, we don't have any competition. We do. Okay. Social media is such a ruckus, and you have to put your best foot forward. It's no longer enough just to show up. Okay, there's a time when my message was show up, show up, show up. Okay, use what you have, for what you have is plenty. Okay, what is worth doing well is worth doing badly at first, but you can learn to do it well. Okay, all those things are kind of valid, but there's an age that we go to where, you know, the message has to change, or else you're not growing. Okay, like Paul said, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child, right? But when I became a man, I put aside childish things. Okay, so when you were a rookie, you acted as a rookie. You used free tools as a beginner. Your work was shoddy like a beginner. All right, but when you came to speak for gold, glory to God. But when you came to speak for gold, you put aside rookie behavior. All right, so we're going to put aside rookie behavior and show up as elite performers. Okay, all right, because if you show up as a rookie, people like to bask in the glory of the rookie title. No, don't let the world give you a name that looks so cool. Jesus Christ came to be king of the world, but his own people localized his title. They called him king of the Jews. Who told you he's king of the Jews? He didn't come for the Jews. He came for the world. Go into all the world. All right, so they'll give you a title that makes you feel no. Okay, as an elite performer, you show up as an elite performer. You show up as a rookie, you get a rookie's reward. You show up as an elite performer, you will get an elite performer's reward. All right, so I just went on that tangent there just to say, pay the cost to be the boss. Facebook ads, put down that money, buy that attention. All right, people come to your events. You would your online event. This is an event, for example, but not just those who come, but you would have built a list of people that are interested in what you have to say. And overnight, you have raving fans. Oh my goodness, I never knew Cassandra was so... As she was speaking, I was just like, oh my God, I was taking all these notes. I was thinking, see, let me tell you guys something, just a small, you know, part of my story. And whenever I say this thing, nobody believes me. And because people don't believe me, it's a testament to how much God has helped my life, right? There used to be a time when I was chronically shy. You know when they say that the fear of public speaking in some people is higher than the fear of death? That used to be me. Then I would rather die at that time, speaking in public. If you had told me at that time that one day I'll be speaking in front of international audiences and speaking to thousands of people, if you had told me then, I would have gone to run and hide somewhere. So thankfully, nobody told me then. It was that bad. It was terrible. That's on one hand. Because speaking, public speaking is on one hand. Another thing is your teaching ability. All right. There are some of you who are fantastic speakers, or at least you're good enough to get great at it. Yeah. There are some of you also who are great teachers, but you don't know because you are surrounded by, I wanted to use the I word. I don't know whether the grace of FD's platform allows me, but it was on my platform that I've used that word. You know, let me try and be diplomatic. You're surrounded by people who do not share your enthusiasm about your purpose. That took a lot of effort, man. Coining that phrase took a lot of effort, but it's all good. All right. You're surrounded by people who don't share your enthusiasm for this, your new direction. All right. So like some of you have been young. We've all been young and done stuff that young people do. All right. There was a time in your life when you were clueless about what your journey was going to be about. So you were just a joker. And at that time, you hung around jokers. You were a scornful person. So you hung around scornful people. But at some point, you know, you received your call. And you're like, oh my goodness, this is my new direction. And that change begins to happen inside of you. And you feel called into leadership. You feel called into a life of purpose. You feel called to lead people. You come to a Fela Durotoye event and you hear him say one thing and you're like, oh my goodness, this is my destiny. This is my purpose. I have found my purpose. This is my future calling me. You hear that word, and it just changes in your mind. And then you start to exhibit that, but your environment is still the same. You're still surrounded by people who still have that old thinking. And so you are saying these things, but they are not really excited. They're like, who be this one? What is one even saying? And so you don't even know how good you are because you're around them. So some of you have diminished your gift. You see, this is one of the biggest takeaways for me from the parable of the sower. Pay close attention to the breakdown of this story, the deconstruction of the story of the parable of the sower. They said a farmer was sowing good seed. Nothing wrong with the farmer, nothing wrong with the seed. But some of them fell amongst thorns. It did not work. Some fell amongst rocks. It did not work. Some fell by the wayside. Birds came, ate them. Now, we know the end of the story, that he finally sowed some on good soil and all that. But before he got to that point, do you know what happens when you are throwing your pearls among swine? Jesus said, don't throw your pearls to swine, right? Do you know what happens when you keep on sowing amongst thorns? Before you eventually find, because not everybody has that consistency to keep on sowing until they get to good soil, right? You know what happens when you keep on sowing your seed amongst thorns, amongst rocks? Over time, when you're not seeing fruit, you're not getting that feedback that you need, actually, that affirmation to keep going, you're going to despise your seed. And some people have done that. This thing safe. Is in that's why. So what do you do? And they say, it's just eliminate just kidding. Just that could save someone's life. What you talking about? You know such people when they say, so what do you do? It's just no. Jesus Christ did not die for you to be a just what? You're supposed to be a whole. That's an African slang. A whole me, a whole, yeah. Not a just. So when you're around that for a longer, you've diminished your teaching. You are fantastic teachers, fantastic speakers, but you need to sow that seed on the right ground. All right. And these things are great avenues. It is so important that you sow these seeds amongst people who do not have a shared history with you, at least at the beginning. Somebody needs to catch this, because for something that my uncle used to call home anointing. He calls it home anointing. Like Jesus said, the prophet is acceptable everywhere except in his own hometown. Yeah. Now, people misquote it sometimes and say a prophet is not accepted in his hometown. That's not what he said. There are two different things. He said a prophet is not accepted in his own hometown. It sounds correct, but it's not exactly what he said. He said a prophet is accepted everywhere except in his hometown. Another translation says a prophet is not without honor. So it means that everywhere you go, people are going to honor that gift. You have something, except in your hometown. It's not for you to start beefing anybody. It's just the reality of the situation. So, hey, I've heard Simsaladum, that means my time is up. Okay, I will round up. Okay, right? So some of us have been, you've had this passion, you're preaching it to friends and family. They are not supposed to be your audience. Stop forcing it on them. They are not your audience. Your audience are a group of strangers. All right? And it's very difficult for people that saw you tying towel to accept a reality of you wearing a suit. You don't force it. You give yourself heartbreak for nothing. Okay? Go into all the world. Go out. And for those who did not go out, they were persecuted. Read it. Facebook ads will open you out there. Get those people in. And it will shock you what people are going to be saying. They'll be like, oh my God, people who have never met you before. But that's the key. They don't have any idea of your history. They are only taking you right now based on the value you are presenting right now. Good. Because people who have known you for a while, sometimes their knowledge of your history can distort it, can distort the image of you, right? So These strangers, important to get out of that comfort zone. Cast your nets to the right side of the boat. Okay, you've been laboring all night, you've caught nothing. Cast your nets to the right side of the boat. Okay, and then when people start saying that, oh my goodness, I am liberated. See what Chiamaka said that day. Oh, I've never heard it before. Do you know this girl? Do you know her? Those screenshots I said to their friends. Follow her on Instagram. Join our Facebook. Join our Facebook group. She's doing another webinar again next week Saturday. Oh yeah, they'll call people. And that is how you will blow, just like that. Okay, so don't just see this as just tech. This is power. This is spirit, and this is life. Tech saved my life. Tech made me known. Tech gave me the power to share my message, and it will give you the power as well. Okay, usually I'm a long form teacher. I do these things for hours at an end. If you leave me to keep on doing this thing, I can keep on talking for 5 hours, 8 hours and beyond, because I'm doing what I love. I don't consider this to be work. I consider what I'm doing to be play. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun, but we have to respect time and let you go right now. All right. So I want to just leave you with this and understand that you have a message and your message is valuable. You have a message, your message is valuable. But just as the gospel of Jesus is territorial, it gives us a clue. It gives us a clue that our message should be territorial. You've got to believe in your own hype enough to master these tools and dominate the earth. This is a time when you can start up something, a movement in Nigeria, and have fans far away in Japan, far away in Uganda, far away in South Korea, and the uttermost part of the world. In that great commission, the idea of the internet was born. So I would end with the words of Jesus, which says, it makes no sense to take a candle and hide it under a bushel or hide it under a bucket. All right. So let your light so shine that they may see, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, and also help you gain income, impact, and influence. God bless you. I love you.